Hello, you gorgeous and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. I want to share something with you today that we'll see how it goes. I share a lot of things on here. I do not mind talking about my personal life because, we're all human beings stumbling around, being imperfect, trying to be loved. And I am no different, like human, just like the rest of you out there. But this particular thing I'm going to share, I have always been a little bit more quiet about. And it had to do with my own shame stories and my own fear of being rejected and my own feelings of unlovability, not enoughness. And what I have discovered through all of this work that I've done, becoming a therapist, offering therapy to people, doing my own work throughout that process, because I don't think you can be a good healer unless you've done some of your own internal work. What I have learned is, in the end, I am the one who creates the story about whether or not I am lovable. And my beliefs around this are what shape my reality and my experience with people. And I want to tell you about something that really changed the course of my life. It completely affected the way that I have experienced relationship and love and sex. And it's also the thing that has helped me to love myself more than I really ever thought was possible. So, it's been about 10 years now that I have had herpes. I have HSV2, which there's multiple different strains of herpes. There's the kind that creates shingles, there's the kind that creates chickenpox. There's HSV1, which is associated with oral symptoms, and then there's HSV2, which is associated with genital symptoms. You can actually get either one in either place. You could have both in the same place. You can get HSV2 on your mouth, you can get HSV1 on your genitals. We need a better word than genitals. Anyway, I digress. I happen to have HSV2. I do get outbreaks on my vulva, and I've had it for about 10 years. I got herpes from the very first partner I ever had sex with. And so this has been a part of my journey for my entire sexual life, actually. And when I first got it, and I can feel the emotion right now, I thought that my love life was over. I thought I would never find a partner. I thought no one would ever love me. I thought that I would never have sex again, which, if you know anything about me, you know that would be a huge issue inside of my nervous system because I love sex. And it just sent me into this place where I really genuinely believed that I would never be able to have the relationship that I wanted because no one would accept me with this diagnosis. And that tenderness, as you can see, I remember exactly what it feels like. It still lives inside of me. Those parts that felt so unlovable, so unworthy because of a skin disorder. And it has taken many years of me doing lots of work to know that those stories of I'll never find a partner, I'll never have sex again, were not true. And if you are somebody who is living with herpes, then please hear this. This does not define whether or not you're going to find love, have beautiful, sexual, intimate, exciting adventures with people, or anything else that you might be telling yourself. Have children. For those of you who have a vulva and want to have children, you can still birth a baby very safely and have herpes. And I know that for so many people, this feels like a death sentence. This feels like the end of their love life. Who's going to ever accept me? I know personally, and I know professionally by working with people who have this diagnosis and have worked through it, that there are tons of people who do not buy into the sexual shaming and stigma of genital herpes is somehow bad and wrong, and I cannot date a person who has herpes. There are so many people who have gotten beyond that, thank goodness. because the risks are actually pretty small, and you can have a really fulfilled life, and you can find partners, and it does not need to stop you from getting the love that you deserve. Really, the only thing that could stop you is telling yourself that you are bad, that you are wrong, that there is something wrong with you because of this diagnosis. It's just not true. And so the reason I'm sharing this today is because I share this with a lot of people. I've never done it publicly online, but I have shared that I have herpes with strangers. People who say an unkind comment, and I'm like, hey, I've got herpes. Or I've shared it with, I don't know, just clients sometimes whenever they're dealing with something that feels similar enough that this would be useful for them to hear. I share this with all partners, all potential partners, so that they can make a choice whether or not they want to be sexual. And so I've gotten really good at sharing this. And recently I was hanging out with a new person that I met. This is a friend, and they were telling me how they actually have a really hard time with talking about a sexual encounter rather than just going for it and seeing what happens. And I said, you know what? I've actually gotten really good about talking about this, and here's why. Every single time before I have sex with someone, I disclose that I have herpes. And hearing me say that was so healing for them, because they carried shame about having herpes. And having someone just come out and say it easily felt really healing to them. And so my hope is that you, sweet human on the other side of this screen, if you need to hear this, if you have someone in your life who needs to hear this, then pass it along. There is nothing shameful about having herpes. There is nothing wrong with a body that has herpes. A person who has it can still make beautiful connections and have amazing sex and find the love of their life and create an amazing partnership. Like, all of that is still possible. The only thing that could stop you is fear. Your own fear that this is somehow going to make you less worthy. And it's just not true. It's not. What is true is there might be some people who choose not to have sex with you. Okay, totally fine. That's their choice. That means that their fear is going to stop them. And that has nothing to do with you, and they are not bad or wrong for having that fear. Totally fine. It just means that they're not the person for you. If they were, then they wouldn't have that fear. Or they would love you so much that they'd be willing to work through that fear and get to the place where they're like, skin disorder that may not even affect me. Totally fine. Totally fine. Let's just move forward with our relationship. I do hope this was helpful to you. It was a little scary for me to share. I've never done it publicly, though now that I have, I actually feel pretty great. I feel really good inside to have said this so publicly, because I do it really easily in real life. This is just the first time in such a broad way, and it feels good, actually. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty good. I'm sending you so much love and care, and I will see you next time. Remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and we'll talk more about love, sex, and relationships next time. I'm having one of those moments where I don't know how to end the video, so we're just gonna end. Goodbye.